Why would people act so cruel, callous? Why would people act like animals, have no heart? I read this book once describing a surgeon, performed surgery during World War One. You know, in World War One, the fight was not fair. Germans had tanks and British had horses. And they sent their children and their man to be slaughtered as the enemy on the tank just wiped them out. And this book, Into the Silence, the title of it, describes a surgeon operating hundreds and hundreds and thousands of soldiers during this time. And the author describes how this surgeon lost reality. He went into darkness and he stopped responding. He was so, shut down in his own life, and he became cruel. He became unhuman-like. And I wondered all the time, why would people turn this way? Well, we see this when a person is put under suffering. He becomes a different person. And we see this in Lamentation chapter 4, where Jeremiah describes the condition of people's heart. What happened to the people when destruction came? So Babylonians came in, they did a siege, and it's for 18 months minimum. There was a siege, no food, no water, no things. And people experienced famine. And this famine has destroyed them, and destroyed humanity. They lost the sense of who they are, and they lost compassion. And he describes people so cruel in this chapter. He compares them to this wild animals that have no compassion, that eat their own children. And he says in chapter 4, verse 4, he says, the tongue actually begins in the middle of verse 3, Lamentations 4:3. But the daughter of my people had become cruel like ostriches in the wilderness. And what is this cruelty showed? He says, verse 4, the tongue of the infant cleaves to the roof of its mouth because of thirst. There's no water, and the children's tongue just stuck to the top of their mouth. Little ones ask for bread, but no bread. No one breaks it for them. Like, the people have become so callous, heartless, cruel, because they experience suffering. And in verse 10, he describes this: the hand of compassionate woman boiled their own children. This is harsh, just even to talk about, just even to mention and read this, where a mother cooks her own baby for dinner. Where a mother instinct is to protect the child and give the child life, she acts unhuman, and she cooks her children. And that's what famine did. I mean, when we go through suffering, when we go through pain, it shapes our heart. It shapes how we respond. And if we go through suffering and pain outside of God and alone, then we become like animals. Thus, when we suffer, we need to turn to God. We need to pray. We need to read the scriptures. We need to understand that we are with God, because if we are not, that suffering, that atmosphere breaks us. You know, in our society, we've been watching how kids pick up their gun and go shoot in schools. They kill 9 children, things like that. And everybody studies what happened if they go back and they observe this child was did not experience love. Either he was adopted, orphanage, and foster kids, and he had abusive mother and father. So this atmosphere around the child just shapes him to be this animal. So that is why it is important for us to have a right atmosphere. It is important for us to know the Lord. It is important for us to walk according to His ways, so we can have a good influence on our children, and we would not be like animals. May the Lord bless you.